Building a house and buying land. How much do you qualify for and what size home can you build? We're going to look at 4 different loan programs where you can do this with this example of around $150,000 a year in income with $2,000 in monthly debts. First up is conventional. You will need a 700 credit score for our 5% minimum down payment option, and the maximum debt ratio we're going to calculate is 45%. Start out by inputting our gross monthly income at $12,500 a month. We're going to multiply this number times 45% is our debt ratio, hit equals, and that gives us $5,625. Then all we have to do is minus out our monthly debts of $2,000, which gives us $3,625. That is our allowance for our max mortgage payment. To solve for our approximate loan amount that we're going to qualify for, we're going to divide that number by 8. 8 is going to represent approximately how much our principal, interest, taxes, homeowners insurance, and PMI would be. So that means our total loan, and this is going to represent thousands, is $453,000 that you could be able to buy land and build a home. For this example, let's just say we're looking at building a house on the whole $453,000, that we put that in there, and then we're going to divide that number to solve for our approximate house size. We're going to say this is divided by $200, and that will represent square footage price. So that means our total house could be approximately 2,265 square feet. Next up is FHA, where you will need a minimum score of a 620 with our 3.5% down option, and it has a maximum debt to income ratio of 57%. So again, we're going to start out by inputting our gross monthly income at $12,500. This time we're going to multiply that times 57% for our maximum debt ratio, which gives us $7,125. Then we minus out those monthly debts at $2,000. It gives us $5,125 for our allowance for our maximum mortgage payment. Same thing, we're going to divide that number by 8, and then that's going to give us an approximate of 640, which again would represent thousands. 640,000 is approximately how much you would qualify for on buying land and building. In this example, we're going to say same thing. It's just for your house build, and we're going to divide that by the same at $200 a square foot, which means you would be able to build approximately a 3,200 square foot home. Next up is USDA, where you will need a minimum score of at least 620 and a maximum debt to income ratio of 41%. Starting with our $12,500 in gross monthly income, this time we're going to multiply it by 41% debt to income ratio. That gives us a total of $5,125. Then we have to minus out those monthly debts at $2,000, which leaves us $3,125 to go to our max mortgage. Again, we're going to divide this number by 8 to solve for our max loan amount. In this case, it's $390,000. At $390,000, dividing by our estimated $200 a square foot gives us an approximate of 1,950 square foot home. And finally, VA, where you will need a minimum score of a 620 and a maximum debt to income ratio of 55%. Again, we start with our gross monthly income at $12,500. Now we multiply that times 55% maximum debt ratio on VA and gives us $6,875. We minus out those monthly debts at $2,000, which gives us $4,875. This is where it gets a little different though. VA has no mortgage insurance or PMI, so we're going to divide that by 7.5 now. That means our maximum loan would be $650,000. We divide that out by $200 a square foot, and that would mean you can build about a 3,250 square foot home. So there you go. That's 4 different loan programs that I taught you how you can calculate approximately how much you're going to qualify for on buying land and building your dream home. And hey, make sure you're following along for more construction loan and house building tips.